Hi, this is DarkFox127 and welcome back to another Cat's Life developers video. This is the second video in the short series that I'll be doing covering this mod. If you are unaware of what a Cat's Life is and you did not watch the previous video, I strongly recommend that you go ahead and watch that first. So today I'm going to be covering the stray cat system for the mod, and to get started we need to go ahead and go inside of one of the two stores in this mod. So this is going to be Melvin's store. This is located just by Honningbrew Mead over there in Skyrim. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to buy myself some cat supplies. Okay, so here we are in the cat store. You'll see there's some cats wandering around. These are the ones that you can go ahead and purchase, but we're not going to be covering that system today. Instead, I'm just going to walk up and have a chat with Melvin. Do be aware that there is currently no dialogue on him whatsoever. There is some placeholder during the live streams and such, but I've disabled it for the purpose of this video. So I'm just going to speak to him. You can see I can buy cats, but I'm not going to be bothering with that. And I'm just going to ask what he's got for sale, because we're going to need some biscuits, some treats and stuff like that. And if you look at the side, you'll also see that everything that you can purchase is also on display. And that stuff will disappear as we purchase it. So let's grab ourselves some stuff, shall we? Give that a second to kick in. You can also buy cat beds, but I'll be going through this system in a later video. So I'm going to go ahead, get myself some stuff that I can fill my cat bowl with, which I'll purchase in a moment. So I've got some nice cat biscuits here. There are some fancy bowls as well, which you can buy, but these are more for player homes and such, not really for just feeding strays, which is what we're going to be doing today. And I'm going to get some cat food as well, along with some treats and a little bit of water, and of course the bowl to fill everything with. Now, the first time that you perform certain actions in this mod, you'll see that you get little tutorial notifications that come up just to let you know how things work. So it's told me that I can go in my inventory now and I can fill this bowl just by activating it. It'll knock you out the inventory, keep everything nice and clean. And I can fill it with cat food, biscuits, water. You can also fill this with moon sugar if you have it on you, and even milk. And cat milk will be implemented into the mod in a way that actually makes sense, because I do know cats don't actually drink milk. So I'm going to go ahead, fill that with food. If I go back in my inventory, you'll see that I've got a nice bowl of cat food. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go out into the world, find myself a cat, a stray cat, and I'm going to introduce the stance system, show you the mod configuration menu, and just explain how things work, and then we'll proceed to gain the trust of a cat, so you can see how the whole system works. Okay, so welcome to Rorikstead. You'll see that I found my first stray cat target, if you like, here, who I'm going to try and gain his trust. But before I go ahead and speak to that kitty cat or try and perform any actions to gain his trust, I'm just going to pause for a sec and we're going to go into the mod configuration menu. So if you head into the MCM here, you'll see a Cat's Life, nice bit of visual there, and there are a few pages that we can select here. So we've got features, settings, stats, tracking. Now, you may find yourself coming into the MCM every now and then, but you shouldn't really have any need to do much with it past setting up the initial settings. The only thing you'll be popping into this mod configuration for eventually is just to check on the tracking system. So I'm just going to look at this first. So stray cats around the world are fully tracked in the mod configuration menu. There are a set amount of cats in various different locations. Some towns and villages have more than one, others don't. They'll just have a single one like the one here. And you'll see once I've discovered a cat, I've already discovered one in Riverwood, it will give you some information in regards to how that cat is with you, so what its relationship with you is. Now at the moment it's sociable. There are about, I think it's about 5 different levels of sort of relationship stance. I can't remember off the top of my head what they all are, but basically the higher this is, the more dialogue options that are going to start to appear. So this helps you know what cat you're tracking, what the relationship with that cat is, and pretty much what you're going to need to do to gain its trust. So you also have owned cat information. So once we've adopted one, when one's following us, we've got information there. There may be more stuff added to this menu in the future. Coming away from the tracking, we'll just check out general features. I'm not going to be going into too much detail with each of these right now, but we have adoption, which means you can actually turn this entire system off. So if you just want to see cats around the world, that's perfectly fine. Knock this off, and you don't even need to interact with them with dialogue at all. They'll just be for show, essentially. But we've got adoption on because we want to go ahead and show that system today. Animations at the moment are a little wonky. This is not animations in regards to the cats, obviously. Otherwise, they'd be just floating around. This is animations which relate to player actions. Now, this isn't overkill, so don't worry. When animations are turned on, you're not going to be performing animations for every single small action. It's going to be things like petting a cat, just putting a treat on the ground, placing the bowls, picking them up, and placing down beds. It's not going to start doing animations for all sorts of things, not too much anyway. But if you decide that you don't like them or you're getting sick of them, you can turn them off. Auto pickup bowls is pretty important in this situation. Once you've placed the bowl down for a cat to feed from and the cat has eaten the food, the bowl will just become empty. And what will happen is the bowl will stay on the floor unless we enable this option. Now, what that means is you can end up leaving the bowl in the middle of nowhere and you have to go ahead and buy yourself a new one because you can't find where you left the other one. So I'm going to turn the pickup bowls on because it's really kind of annoying for me. Cat needs I'm covering in another video. Gift of charity, you'll receive that perk when you feed cats. You can turn this on or off because it's kind of like feeding somebody off the streets, obviously. The home restrictions we're not going to be covering today. NPC cats are just cats in the world owned by other NPCs, which you can get rid of. And we have store bowls. So I can show you that right now before we dive into any more MCM stuff. I'll just walk over to the inn here. There are, outside of various different inns and other stores and stuff around the world, bowls that are left out for the cats. So these are like bowls of water, bowls of food and stuff like that. So you can actually disable those if you don't want them there, or if you find that there's some compatibility issues with other mods. So let's dive into the settings. This is where things look a little confusing, but it all kind of makes sense if you just read the bit at the bottom. I'll just give a very brief explanation of some of these, not all of them. Crazy cat perk we're not going to be going into. The anger chance is basically the chance of angering cats if you perform actions that they're not happy with because you don't have a very good stance with them. So the stance system is essentially how much they like or dislike you. So stance will go up when you perform actions like feeding, petting them, giving them treats, and it will go down if you're trying to pet them and they don't like you and they get angry, they might scratch at you and other things like that. Or if you hit them over the head with an axe, obviously the stance is going to go down. So anger is going to, this percentage chance of anger is going to determine that if you hit it or if you treat it badly or you try and pet it when it doesn't like it, is it going to go down? What's the chance of that, of the stance going down? So feed chance is the chance of cats showing up for feeding when you put a bowl down. So you put a bowl down at the moment, by default, there's a 70% chance that a cat will actually show. Sometimes they're just not feeling up for it, they're not hungry. If it's raining, you won't be able to feed them. Feed radius, this you can change. I recommend keeping it at default really, but if you find that it's not picking up cats in the area very well, you can hire this and it will detect cats from a much larger range. The feed success is the chance going to go up after they've been fed if they're going to be happy enough that their stance increases. The feed time is not something that I recommend changing. This is how long it has for the cat to make its way to the bowl when its packages are updated, eat, and then leave. So you might find that if you've extended the radius and it picks a cat up from further away, it takes the cat longer to get to you, so you might have to up that option. Some of these options may go into an advanced section for the mod on the other side of this page, but I'm not entirely certain yet. So we've got the follower limit, which is kind of obvious. The runaway chance, we're not going to be going into now. The stance success is kind of the opposite to the anger chance. So this is for smaller interactions with cats. So if you're petting them, you're giving them treats, well, the chance that this goes up. Now, by default, this is a lot lower than the chance from feeding them, because feeding a cat a full meal is going to have a lot more chance of increasing your relationship with the cat than just throwing a treat at it. So, kind of makes sense. And tutorials on or off. So that's those notifications that we saw earlier on. So that's the feature. That's the settings. Statistics have some interesting stuff in here as well. These could be stored in the general game options, but considering that we've already got tracking in the mod configuration menu, and we don't really want to have to scroll down the countless amount of stats in the game, it was just better to put them in here, and it was far easier anyway to implement. So that's pretty much a Cat's Life MCM as it stands at the moment. So as you can see, it's all mostly for settings and messing with little tweaks here and there, but it does also have its uses for going on with the mod. So ongoing checking of statistics and tracking and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and find where that cat is, and then I'm going to try and show you the feeding system. Okay, so it turns off he ran off over here. You'll see that cats do wander around on patrols. They've all got their own things that they like to do. Some of them like to sit by the river and look for fish. Others like to just laze around all day. This one is quite an active one. And if we just interact with him, Rorikstead Stray, you'll see straight away at the top left there the notification saying that he's been discovered. This means that he is now added to the list for tracking. We can give him a treat and we can try and pet him. Now, certain pet options will be judged off of your race. So at the moment, me being a Khajiit, this is guaranteed to work. But sometimes it will mean that you need good speech skill in order for this to be successful. So you can try petting him. We can give that a go now. Some cat dialogue may currently be disabled. Oh no, there we go. You might have heard a slight purr there. So I'll sort of crouch down and interact with him. It's a bit slow at the minute. There's some changes to be made. But the stance I don't think went up. So this is when I'm going to go into my menu. I'm just going to up some of these settings so we have more chance of this stuff actually working. Because I don't really want to be here all day trying to gain its trust. I'm going to give it a treat this time. And this is what I mean by some of the animations. You just sort of crouch down. They're not always very accurate depending on where you're standing. So that's probably one of the reasons why you may not like them. And you'll see that it said that the stance increased. So if we go into here, go into tracking, and you'll see we've got our Rorikstead Stray, and he's now sociable. So the other way of improving your stance is, of course, feeding cats. Now, the way that we do this is we take that bowl that we filled earlier on, we activate it within our inventory. We've got a small tutorial message here as well saying that if you use filled bowls in your inventory, you can feed cats, or you can even place them in your home. So you can use filled bowls to feed your own cats, and you can feed strays. So here we need to feed stray cats. I'm going to see. There we go. Seems happy enough to come and eat. Got a nice little animation here where he's eating from the bowl. And that'll take him a little while to finish. So I'm just going to wait around for that. And yes, I thought it'd be rather funny if I was playing as a type of cat as well. So it's technically slavery if you think about it. There we go. Stance increased. And you'll see the bowl was automatically picked up. We got the gift of charity. There's a small notification there just to let you know how the system works. And if we go back in here again, into tracking, you'll see he's now friendly. So he should be up for adoption at this stage. So we'll have more dialogue options start to appear. So I can also praise him, although that doesn't currently do anything. I am up for suggestions on what praise could actually do. As a game mechanic, I mean. So we've got adopt here. I can pet him now without a problem. This will probably result in a stance increase again. And I'm going to adopt him. So you'll see I've adopted him there. He's now following. He will automatically follow unless you've hit the follow a cat for cats. In which case he'll sort of wait where he is. I've now got the option to rename him as well. This should work. I'm just going to call him Barney Blue. He's not blue, but we'll ignore that. You can also abandon your strays once you've gained their trust, which is a bit harsh, and this will result in their stance shooting down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead, save the game, show you that, and then reload. So if I go on abandon, just in case you click it accidentally, you can make him shoot, or you can keep him. So I decide to keep, or I can abandon him. See, he growls at you as well. Hopefully you can hear that. And a point as if to say, go away. So if I pop back in the MCM. Like I say, though, the chances are you won't be coming in the mod configuration menu this much, not as much as me. He's now unfriendly, because I told him to go away. So I'm just going to go ahead and reload the game. So again, you can continue to pet your own cats just for immersion's sake and stuff like that. I can turn to dismiss. If I dismiss him, he will pretty much just hang around where he is. So what we want to do is we wish to assign him a home. Now, in the mod configuration menu, I said I wouldn't cover it, but it's actually pretty relevant here. In the features, home restrictions is on by default. This means that the area that the cat is in needs to be marked as a home in order for you to have the dialogue option to mark a home for him, so where you want him to stay. So when you dismiss him, where's he going to go? Where's he going to hang out? Now, if I turn this off, it means that anywhere can become a home. Now, this is needed in some cases because not everybody that creates player homes actually tags the location as a player home, meaning that compatibility would be a bit awkward. So that's why this option exists. So now if I click on him, you'll see that I can mark anywhere as a home. I'm not going to go ahead and do that. We'll be experimenting with that more later on. But that's essentially one of the things that you can go ahead and do. So again, I can continue to feed him, especially if I had cat needs on, but that'll be shown in a later video. But that is pretty much how the stance system works, how the mod configuration menu works, and how the adoption of cats works. So at the moment, that's the stray cat system. Like I say, there might be more to add or even take away or completely change with this. But at the moment, that's that. And I can continue to go around the world. I can continue to adopt other cats. That's where the crazy cat perk comes in, which we'll see in a later video. So I can adopt as many as there are in the game because every single cat is a unique actor. It had to be done that way for the systems to work at their simplest without having any issues with save bloat and stuff like that. So that's just about it. And that is it from the Cat's Life Developers video. Please let me know what you think in the comments section down below as always. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And also feel free to check out my website for more on my work at www.darkfox127.co.uk. We do, of course, also have a community Discord where people like to talk about games, modding, anything else in general, share their own creations, and there's also a lot of supportive people on there if you need some help with some general modding and such. I do also have a Patreon page for people to help support my work as well, which is greatly appreciated, so many thanks go to my current patrons. And that is just about it for this video, so thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Okay, so here we are in the store, and as you can see, there's a load of cats wandering around. Oh my god, what the hell was he doing? I don't like what he was doing to the floor.